Good morning, ninth class. I hope you all are safe and fine. As today is your science class. In our previous science class, we discussed Newton's third law of motion. So today we will cover the topic of law of conservation of momentum, which is based on Newton's third law of motion. In Newton's second law of motion, we have studied that the moving bodies possess momentum, and that momentum is equal to the product of mass and velocity. Means momentum is equal to mass multiplied by velocity. Now we will take one example to understand the meaning of the term conservation of momentum. So here, suppose a speeding truck hits a car having velocity 2 meter per second, and we can say now in this collision the velocity of truck decreases, means after collision the velocity of truck decreases and the velocity of car increases. Due to the increase in velocity of car, the momentum of car also increases because of velocity, as momentum formula is mass multiplied by velocity. So if the velocity increases, then momentum also increases. Now increase in momentum of the car will be equal to the decrease in momentum of the truck. So after collision, car just gains a velocity and hence its momentum get increase, but after collision the speed of the truck get decrease, and due to which the momentum of truck get decrease. So we can say that the decrease in momentum of truck, the quantity which get decrease in momentum of truck will be gained by the car, but at the end we can say that total momentum will remain conserved. Now we will understand this concept with the help of numerical values. Suppose a truck is having mass 1000 kg and at initial stage it is moving with the velocity of 5 meter per second before collision. So according to Newton's second law, its momentum will be mass multiplied by velocity, means 5 meter per second. So the momentum comes out to be 5000 kilogram meter per second. This is the momentum of truck. Now in initial stage, car is having mass 800 kilogram and it was moving with the velocity 2 meter per second before collision. So the momentum of car will be equal to mass multiplied by velocity. So it comes out to be 1600 kilogram meter per second. So this is the momentum of car. Now we will calculate the final momentum, is net momentum of both the objects, that is 5000 plus 1600, or we can say 1600. So the final or the total momentum comes out to be 6600 kilogram meter per second. So this is the total momentum of truck and car before collision. Now when the truck collide with the car after collision, as mass remains unchanged, so mass will be 1000 kg as before, but after collision the velocity of truck get decrease, it becomes 3.4 meter per second. Now again we will calculate momentum, means mass multiplied by velocity. So the momentum comes out to be 3400 kilogram meter per second. And similarly, car was having mass 800 kilogram. After collision the velocity of car get increase. Earlier it was 2, now it becomes 4 meter per second. Now we will calculate momentum of car and it comes out to be 3200 kilogram meter per second. Again we will calculate the total momentum of truck and car. This is the total momentum of truck and car after collision. It comes out to be 6000 600. If you carefully observe that the total momentum before collision is equal to the total momentum after collision. So what we have observed, that the decrease in momentum of the truck, that means the quantity which get decreased in momentum of truck is added in the momentum of car, so that the total momentum of the system remains unchanged. So this is about law of conservation of momentum. Now we will study about it in detail. So students, now we will discuss about the statement of law of conservation of momentum. It states that the total momentum before collision is equal to the total momentum after the collision if no external force act on the system. And this is true for all collision, means between any object like car and truck, two railroads car, proton and a proton, a planet and a meteor. So this is true about all types of collision, means between any objects. This is about law of conservation of momentum. The law of conservation of momentum means that whenever one body gains momentum, then some other body must lose an equal amount of momentum. And in other words, we can state this law like momentum is never created nor it is destroyed, means it is transferred only from one object to another object. As we have discussed in this case also, like the decrease in momentum of the truck will be equal to the increase in momentum of car to make the momentum conserve. So this was example. Now we will study in detail about the law of conservation of momentum and its mathematical derivation. To explain conservation of momentum, let us take the following example. Consider two balls, like a ball A and ball B. This is ball A, this one is ball B, and they are having masses. Ball A is having mass m1, ball B is having mass m2, and these two bodies like ball A and ball B are moving in the same direction, means in this direction, but they are moving with the different velocities, or we can say speed. Ball A is moving with the speed u1, ball B is moving with the speed u2. And now we can say that the initial momentum of ball A, as momentum is equal to mass multiplied by velocity. So initial momentum of ball A will be m1 u1, and initial momentum of ball B will be m2 u2 if the ball B is moving with the velocity u2. And at initial stage, this u1 is greater than that of u2, as it was in the case of car and truck. After that, the total momentum before collision will be equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Suppose the ball A and the ball B collide for short time t. Due to collision, the velocities of the ball, means the velocity of ball A as well as the velocity of ball B, get changed. Let the velocity of ball A after collision be v1. After collision, ball A moves with the velocity v1 and ball B moves with the velocity v2 after collision. So the momentum of ball A after collision will be m1 v1, and momentum of ball B after collision will be m2 v2. But after collision, v1 is less than v2 because velocity of first object get decrease, then velocity of second object get increase after collision, as like in the case of truck and car. In this way, total momentum of ball A and ball B after the collision will be m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Now suppose that during collision ball A exerts a force on ball B. Ball A exerts a force on ball B, and let that force be F1. Let F1 is the force which is exerted by ball A on B, or we can say F12 means this is the force exerted by first object on second object, means force exerted by ball A on ball B. Now in turn, according to Newton's third law of motion, ball B also gives reaction force on ball A, and that reaction force will be equal to F21. It means force exerted by the second object on first object. So this will be the force exerted by second object on first object. So according to these definitions, we can say that this is according to Newton's third law of motion, because to every action there is a equal and opposite reaction. Now when force F12 means force exerted by first object on second object act on second object for time t, then velocity of ball B changes from u2 to v2. It changes from u2 to v2. It means if the velocity of object is changing, means object is accelerating. So we will calculate its acceleration. Now what is the acceleration? Acceleration formula is change in velocity upon time. Change in velocity means as earlier object B was moving with the velocity u2, now it is moving with the velocity v2 after collision. So change in velocity will be v2 minus u2 upon time, that becomes acceleration. So means object B is accelerating. Now we will calculate the force exerted by object B on object A. Means that force we can write like this: F21 means force exerted by second object on first object, and that will be equal to the mass of second object multiplied by acceleration of second object, as mass of second object is m2 and its acceleration is v2 minus u2 upon t. So the final expression becomes m2 bracket start v2 minus u2 upon t. And now this is the force exerted by the second object on first object, means force by ball B on ball A as a reaction force. Now we will calculate the action force. Action force means the force which is exerted by ball A on B, or we can say by first object on second object. So that will be equal to the mass of first object and acceleration of first object. Mass of first object means ball A is m1 and acceleration of first object is change in velocity upon time, as change in velocity of object A is final velocity minus initial velocity upon time, as final velocity of object A means ball A is equal to v1, initial velocity was u1 upon time. So this is the acceleration of first object. Now the force exerted by the first object on second object means ball A on ball B will be equal to m1 bracket start v1 minus u1 upon t. Now as I have already told you that F12 will be the force exerted by ball A on B and 21 will be the force exerted by ball B on A. Then according to Newton's second law of motion, means we have calculated the force F12 and F21. These are the force. This first one F12 is the force exerted by first object on second object, means ball A on ball B, and F21 is the force exerted by second object on first object, means by ball B on ball A. Now according to Newton's third law of motion, it states that to every action there is a equal and opposite reaction. Means we can write it like this also. FAB means force exerted by ball A on ball B, or FBA means force exerted by ball B on ball A. This is the definition of Newton's third law of motion, which states that to every action force there is an equal and opposite reaction force. As we have considered force as 1 2 and 2 1, so we can write it like this. And this minus sign shows that reaction force is in opposite direction to the action force. Now we will put the values as F12 was equal to M1 bracket start V1 minus U1 upon T. Minus sign as it is. F21 was M2 bracket start V2 minus U2 upon T. Now if we compare these expressions, T will get cancelled out on both the sides. After that we will multiply M1 with the bracket, means we will distribute M1 over subtraction. So this becomes, firstly M1 goes towards V1, it becomes M1 V1, and then this minus sign, after that M1 U1, so this is M1 U1, minus sign as it is, then M2 V2, firstly M2 will go towards V2, so this is M2 V2, and whenever there is a minus sign outside the bracket, the sign inside the brackets get changed when the bracket is open. So when this M2 will just move towards U2, it will become M2 U2, and now this minus minus will become plus, and here it comes M2 U2. Now this expression becomes M1 V1 minus M1 U1 is equal to minus M2 V2 plus M2 U2. Now we will rearrange the given expression. It becomes M1 V1 as it is. This M1 V1 will come down, and this M1 U1 will get shift to right side, and from there this minus M2 V2 comes to left side, and their sign get changed. This minus will become plus when it moves to right side, and this minus will become plus when it moves to left side. So the final expression for the law of conservation of momentum becomes M1 V1 plus M2 V2, means the total momentum after collision is equal to the total momentum before collision. So this is about the law of conservation of momentum. It is obvious that the total momentum of two bodies before and after collision is the same, means the total momentum remains constant, or we can say conserved. So this result proves the law of conservation of momentum. Now we will describe some applications of the law of conservation of momentum. So let us start. Dear students, we have already studied that the rockets and jet aeroplanes work on the principle of action and reaction. We will now describe the working of rockets and jet aeroplanes according to the law of conservation of momentum. Earlier, we have explained the working of jet and rockets with the help of Newton's third law. Now we will just explain the same with the help of law of conservation of momentum. The chemicals inside the rocket burn and produce high velocity of hot gases. These gases pass out through the tail nozzle. So they pass out through the tail nozzle and in the downward direction with a tremendous speed or velocity, and the rocket moves up to balance the momentum of gases. Although mass of the gases emitted is comparatively small, but they have a very high velocity. Hence, due to the velocity, the momentum of gas is very high. An equal momentum is imparted to the rocket in the opposite direction. Means when gases emerge out from the nozzle of the rocket, they impart equal momentum in opposite direction, so that the net momentum becomes 0, because before, we can say propulsion, before it was started, initially the momentum was 0, it was at rest. Rest means mass multiplied by velocity, as initial velocity of rocket is 0. So final momentum should also be 0, because initial velocity was 0, initial momentum was 0. So according to law of conservation of momentum, final momentum should be 0. So for the same, these hot gases imparts equal and opposite momentum to the rocket. Due to the high speed of the velocity, the backward rushes gases have a high momentum, and they impart the equal opposite momentum to the jet aeroplane, due to which the jet aeroplanes move upward, or we can say this rocket moves upward. The same is in the case of jet aeroplanes, or either it is rocket or jet aeroplane. So we can say that the rockets and jet aeroplanes work on the principle of conservation of momentum. Now, the second application of law of conservation of momentum is regarding the recoiling of gun. When a bullet is fired from a gun, then the bullet has a momentum which is given by mass of bullet multiplied by velocity of bullet, as the bullet imparts an equal and opposite momentum to the gun, due to which the gun jerks backward, or we can say the gun is said to be recoil. The backward velocity of gun is called recoil velocity, and the momentum acquired by gun can be given by mass of the gun multiplied by the recoil velocity of the gun. So according to the law of conservation of momentum, I am going to explain you this numerical. Students, this is the example related to the recoil velocity of gun, means according to the law of conservation of momentum. So firstly, I am just going to read the statement. A bullet of mass 10 kg is fired from a gun of mass 2000 kg. So this is the mass of the bullet M1, and mass of gun is 2000 kg. Here it is 2000 kg. With a velocity of 250 meter per second. It means the bullet velocity is 250 meter per second. It is fired with the velocity of 250 meters per second. Now we want to calculate the recoil velocity or recoil speed of gun after firing. Let that speed be V2, means the speed by which the gun just turn back or give a jerk to the shoulder. Let that velocity be V2. Then by the law of conservation of momentum, momentum before firing should be equal to the momentum after firing. Momentum before firing will be 0, as initially gun and the bullet both are at rest, means velocity is 0, so the momentum will be 0. But the momentum after firing will be momentum of gun plus bullet after firing, and that momentum of gun and bullet can be given by this equation, m1v1 plus m2 v2, and this final momentum will be equal to the initial momentum, which is 0. Now we will just move this m2 v2, then the expression becomes m1 v1 is equal to minus m2 v2, and then v2 will come as it is, and this m2 will go down, means it becomes m1 v1 upon minus m2. On substituting the value, all values, the answer comes out to be minus 1.25. This minus show that gun will recoil in opposite direction to the direction of bullet, and it will recoil with the velocity of 1.25 meter per second. So the speed of recoil of gun is 1.25 meters per second. So students, this is the example related to law of conservation of momentum, which can be used to find the different parameters in the given numerical.